This is Boat, and this is me, Joe Chikama. And put these two bros together against each other, right, to run a marathon, right? Which you think will win? I mean, he's an athlete. I do exercise, but I'm not into athletes. I mean, I'm not into sports. That came out wrong. But yeah, I'm not into sports. Who do you think will win, really? Huh? Who do you think will win? So let's jump into the intro and get started. So, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode two of Technically It Works. So, on today's episode, it's going to be quite interesting, really. Over the past, few weeks, I've been learning Flutter, and I'm here to share with you my journey on how I did it. In a few weeks, and also managed to launch my own application. I mean, not launch, deploy actually, and deploy my own application to the Google Play Store, which was a daunting task, guys. It was hard, but yeah. Stick around to the end to know all the processes, what I learned along the way, and let's kick this off. Okay, so as someone coming from a JavaScript environment or background, this is an adventure filled with new concepts and experiences. All right, let's dive into like my roadmap and see how it all unfolded. I was learning a little bit haphazardly. I had a roadmap that I was using, but then yeah, for everyone who's watching this video who also want to follow through, I managed to put my steps into a proper roadmap that you can easily follow through and also understand. All right, so yeah, from day one to about day three, I was busy setting up the environment. I faced a few challenges setting up the environment because I don't use Windows or Mac. I use Linux. It's really cool. So I was a little bit struggling to set it up, but I managed to got it working real fine. Even installed the Android emulator there too. Everything working fine. So it took me I would say about 2 days to get it done, because something new that I was working with, but we got it done within like 2 days. But yeah, we can put day one to day three for setting up the environment that you can start with. The Flutter SDK, and also Visual Studio Code. If you don't have like an IDE that you're using or text editor, I prefer using VS Code because it's quite clean and I've been using it for some time. So yeah. So after building it now, setting up my whole environment, the next goal obvious was to set up a mini, hello world app so that I know how it works. So we managed to set up a small app, which is a counter app, and I'm really glad like this starter that they provide you with is really cool and awesome because it comes with a lot of things already. Like it showed me how to work with state, some few functions there, and all these widgets that we're going to be working with. They were all there, and yeah, I really wish React.js was like that when you install their create React app. Okay, so moving on. Day 4 and 7 was quite interesting, really, because that's when I was now learning that. Coming from JavaScript background, learning that was my next step. Like over the next few days, I immersed myself in learning the basics of that. I covered my topics like variables, data types, functions, control structures, and object-oriented concepts. So like it was really fascinating to explore the different similarities between JavaScript and that. That was cool, really cool, guys. And from day 8 now to day 10, I was now busy exploring Flutter fundamentals, with a solid foundation already that I now had in that I now knew the syntax, how everything works. I was ready now to delve into Flutter fundamentals. So I started by understanding Flutter's widget-based architecture and grasping the concepts of stateless and stateful widgets. Quite confusing, stateless and stateful widgets. Yeah, so like widgets are building blocks of UI components in Flutter, and I experimented with layout widgets like the container, the row, column, and also the stack to design some interactive designs. In Flutter. That was day 8 to about day 10. All right, and from day 11 to day 15, there's now things are now getting interesting now. So yeah, from day 11 to day 15 now, I was now diving deeper into Flutter widgets and how they really work out. So as I progressed now, I realized they were more advanced widgets besides the columns and the rows that I was like working with. So I started learning about widgets like the list view, the grid view, the app bar, the text field, and buttons and many more. That was now learning. So it was something exciting to discover how to handle user input and respond to events, like when a user clicks a button, what happens. So I explored Flutter's Beauty Navigator, for screen navigation. It's more like React Router. So I was quite familiar with that already. Obvious to switch between pages, we need to navigate something. So I'm looking for something that can do this. So discovering, Flutter's Beauty Navigator for screen navigation, it was quite interesting, and working around with it to maneuver through, different pages, right? So from day 16 now to day 20, I was now busy mastering, Flutter UI and polishing up my UI skills. Already, I have background in UI and UX. I've played around with Figma, been a front-end developer for some time, and it was quite easy for me to really work out what I wanted to achieve with what I was working with. Say, I want a button with a shadow like this. I want a button with a radius like this and stuff like that. It was quite easy for me to pull up. All right. So with the growing understanding of Flutter, I shifted my focus on UI design. I dived into Flutter styling and theming capabilities. I was getting knowledge about material design and some icons. Like there was a package I was using for icons called Flutter. Font Awesome. I think it should be Font Awesome. Yeah, that's the one that I was using. So like these widgets gave me my app a native look and also a good feel. And I also practiced designing visually. Appealing, user interfaces using Flutter's rich set of tools. Quite a lot of them really that helped me design some carousels, some onboarding screens. It was awesome. And then from day 21 to day 25, we're now dealing with APIs now. That was really interesting. I won't lie, because I do love integrating APIs. I build my own APIs. So I had a few APIs that I had that I was just playing around with. So it was really awesome working with data in Flutter. So like during this phase, I explored techniques for fetching and displaying data from APIs. I also learned about handling asynchronous operations, using async and await and future objects within Flutter, right? So like to simplify API integration, I took a small cheat code. Yeah, I incorporated popular packages like HTTP and what's the other one? I'm forgetting the other one. Yeah, but then those are some of the packages that I incorporated to work with APIs. Yeah, that was for day 21 to day 25. Yeah, if I'm trying to break all my steps. So from now, day 29 to day 30, we're now building a complete Flutter project. Something huge that I can really showcase. But already as I was learning Flutter, I was already building a project of mine that I had called Hear Me, which is the one that I launched and it's available on Google Play Store for download. So with every concept that I was learning, I was trying to incorporate that into the Hear Me app. Right now the code quality and structure is quite horrific, but I was just happy that I could incorporate Flutter in it. I could build it using Flutter, and that was awesome. Really made me happy. So what's left on that project really now is to clean up the code. To clean up the code and polish up the UI a bit. But I'm really happy that I managed to build a full-fledged project within my 30 days of Flutter, and that was an awesome experience, really. Learning a widget and then adding it to the features of your application and stuff like that. It was really really awesome. All right, so from about day 29 to day 30, that's when you can build a project with what you've learned from way back. But for me, already I had an application that was out there that people were using. It was a web app called Hear Me. I'm pretty sure some of you guys know it. I'll try to link it down so you can check it out. So I was now trying to build Hear Me from being a progressive web app to being a whole application now that people can actually download on Google Play Store. So I started building it somewhere around day, I think for me it was somewhere around day 12 or 11 each day, because I now knew some bits of Flutter. So I just wanted to start building it. As I learn about more widgets, more architecture of Flutter, I just incorporated within that application. It was really, really awesome. So around day 20, for me around day 24, that's when I was done building the app. I mean, the code base right now, it's really something else, I won't lie. But it taught me Flutter well. So right now I'm left with updating the code base, writing a clean code for it. But for now, the app is around on Play Store. I also managed to put the application on Play Store, which was really, guys, it was stressful online. You know, there were quite a lot of details that were needed to be filled out, and I didn't have time for that. It took me about 2-3 days for me to finish the whole procedure, and then waited some time for Play Store to verify the app and then list it. But it was a good experience, really. So yeah, that's how I learned Flutter in about 30 days. For me, it was way less, and I would really, really want to give a special shout out and thank you to my brother Ngoni Tachimanguja. He's a Flutter guru. he taught me Flutter. I asked him how he would learn Flutter if I was learning Flutter right now, and he gave me a small guideline that was really really helpful. I also tried to link it down below for everyone who wants to check it out, and also some of the resources I was using to learn Flutter. And what else? And another big thing that really helped me a lot was joining Flutter groups. There's a Flutter Discord group that I'm in, server, and also on WhatsApp. There's also a WhatsApp group I'm in for Flutter developers. And the reason why they were really helpful to me was when I was stuck with anything, I'll just shoot a question in there. People would assist me, especially with setting up my environment. It was a huge task that I was struggling with. Because I've never set up, an Android emulator on my Linux item, so I had to ask for help, and I got it from the Discord, server. People actually sent screenshots like, "Yo, try doing this, and that," and I did it. It was awesome, really. Another thing, like the reason why for me it was easy to learn Flutter was because I have knowledge in JavaScript. That's why the example that I gave about Usain Bolt and me. Usain Bolt trains every day, right? He knows how to run. He knows good marathon, manual like this and that. When you reach like a road so I go like this, I run like this and that. And there's me, who's not an athlete, who's still starting from scratch. I'm trying to exercise and try to run. There's a huge difference. Me, I know JavaScript. I've been learning JavaScript for some time, and the reason why it was really easy for me to learn Flutter so fast was because I knew some of these concepts in JavaScript, that okay, every language is a variable, every language is a function, every language, they do have like API codes and stuff like that. So I knew what I was learning. All right. So instead of spending like the whole 3 weeks trying to learn how to work with APIs and Flutter or stuff like that, it was easy for me to work with already because of my past experience in JavaScript. So that's how I was able to learn Flutter, because I was just looking for how to do this in Flutter, how to do that in Flutter, and not trying to understand really much of the things that happen behind Flutter. So once I knew that, then that's when I started perfecting the skills now to say, okay, now I know that in Flutter, this is how they do their items, this is how they code their items like this and that. So it's now easy for me to implement what I wanted to implement. So yeah, that's how I learned Flutter in 30 days, guys. And feel free to check out the resources below. And if you've got questions on Flutter, I mean, I'm not a Flutter expert right now. I'm not a guru in Flutter that I'd be happy to answer your Flutter questions. I'm still learning Flutter, but I now know Flutter that I can actually build a small app and launch it. But I won't say I'm a guru that I know how to optimize Flutter applications and stuff like that. Nah, I'll be lying. But I now know Flutter. I now know how to work with Flutter, how to install my how to create my own apps from scratch. Design them, integrate APIs, stuff like that. I now know. So that makes me happy. And if you also want to learn Flutter in 30 days, I will try to link down below because some few resources that I use like a roadmap. And yeah, otherwise I'll catch you guys on the next technically it works episode. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and peace out.